Hi my friends! Are you learning how to animate but you struggle to decide what to animate? I have way too many ideas and way too little time to make them all. So let me share my tricks so that you can become also abundant in inspiration. In this video, instead of giving you a list of very specific ideas, I will rather show you where and how you can find ideas so that you will never run out of inspiration. As a bonus at the end of the video, I will share with you a few additional tips to ensure you get to animate your ideas. First of all, it's awesome that you're learning to animate. It can be such a rewarding hobby and it's one of my favorites for sure. The most important thing to keep in mind is that whatever it is that you animate, you must love or at least be interested in the subject. Tradigital or traditional with digital mediums is the animation where you redraw and redraw and redraw the same thing over and over and over again with minor changes. So it can feel very tedious and repetitive if you don't enjoy what you're drawing. So throughout the suggestions I will give you, keep this in mind. Number one, use existing curriculums. And if you don't want to give it too much thought, I recommend finding a website that already has created an animation list or animation exercises. For example, there's the 11-second club where they post once a month a little transcript that you can animate to. And if you don't feel like competing, you could just do it for yourself. Another type of website can also be this, like this one, frame by frame, where somebody has segmented an animation frame by frame so that you can understand how it's been created, how it's been animated. And you can even take these as inspiration and create them yourself. Another great example is the website from Animator Island. They have a list of 51 exercises with increasing difficulty. It is ideal for beginners that want to improve their skill. I've given it a try myself when I was brand new to animation, and here are a few examples of the exercises that I did based on this curriculum. For example, I created the bouncing ball in place, which is like a looped animation. I've created the bouncing ball across the screen. I created that actually in two different softwares as well, and the brick falling from a shelf onto the ground. I started doing these and plan on doing more, but there was a factor of fun or motivation that I was missing with these exercises. Other types of animation motivate me a little more, so I have been coming up with my own ideas. Number two, take inspiration from movies, games, or even music videos that you love. You're consuming them anyway, so why not get inspired by them too? They don't have to be necessarily animated movies for you to recreate them. Here are a few examples. Did you see the movie Top Gun Maverick, where Tom Cruise jumps off a cliff on a bike? That was like, wow, right? That's an amazing scene that you could recreate. Or you could look into your favorite video games. I love Mario, and for example, you could try to animate him hitting the question block, right? Or maybe you love Mortal Kombat and you try to recreate a fatality scene or something like that if you want something more horror-esque. Number three, sports are great for animation because they can be quite repetitive in the movement. I think therefore it's an easy looped animation that you can create out of them. For example, I created Ivan, the gym nut, who is working out on his biceps, and he does a repetitive movement as he's pulling the weight. Outside of the gym, there are other sports that can be suitable for beginners, like golf, Formula 1 cars, or dirt bikes on a track. If you also like the trending dances that are all over TikTok and YouTube, you could also recreate those, but in animation, right? So have a look at Olympic sports competitions and see what has like isolated movement. So you don't want something that is super complex like a fight. Another idea could be for you to recreate your artwork into animation. Maybe you're an artist and you've already created a few concepts as drawings. Why not turn those into animations? I have done that with some of my artworks, or there's at least a bunch of them that I feel like I could easily turn into an animation. For example, this leatherback turtle that I created for my coloring book, I turned into this animation, which you can still see as well on my website. By the way, animals are also a great source of inspiration for animation. For example, I have this whale that could, for example, jump into the water and then have the air come out. That would be such an easy animation out of this drawing. Here's something non-animal related. I have here Pierre. He is a bit of a grumpy, kind of serious person, so he could be like giving you a nod, or he could be walking walking off the stage, but like in a kind of grouchy way. Take a bit of inspiration from what you've already created and then see how far you can take it with the animation. Bring it back to life. I also have this cute toucan that I imagine flying off that branch. I created this animatics because I want to create a little trailer actually for one of my YouTube playlists, and so I wanted to kind of travel over different cities and then come back to this artwork that I have. So essentially use your artwork, use your existing concepts. And talking about trailers, that brings me to the next one. You could recreate or create trailers of your favorite TV shows or even movies or songs. I watch a lot of K-dramas and they often have this really cute, cool, and often simple looking animations for the intro of the show. They often capture the content of the show in an abstract kind of way. Again, take a look at your favorite movie, song, or TV show and summarize it as an animation. Another idea could be seasonal or cultural events. You have seen me do this if you have seen my previous animations. For example, for the Lunar New Year, I created a dragon animation, and I'm currently working on an Irish dancer for the upcoming St. Patrick, which is celebrated in Ireland in a few days. Other examples could be Mother's Day, Father's Day. You could have for Mother's Day a mother rocking a sleeping baby. Easter is coming up. You could have, even if you're not religious, you could have a little bunny hopping or a little chick coming out of an egg or something like that. It could even be a chocolate egg if you wanted to be more creative. Or also you could learn how to animate candles with the Indian festival Diwali, or you can learn to animate an object floating with the lantern festivals from Vietnam, for example. There's so many beautiful things that can inspire you from cultures all around the world. You can start by checking out the holidays of your country or the world. I left a link in the description. See what inspires you. The next source of ideas are everyday activities. Maybe you're a coffee lover, you're a foodie, a gamer, a craftsperson. Think about it. What do you love doing? Those activities and try to animate them. Could, for example, if you're a coffee lover, animate a coffee pot brewing or the coffee kind of coming out of it. You could show a person twisting the fork as they're eating spaghetti. Or if you're a gamer, what about creating an ego shooter game animation as if you're watching a gamer playing it? Or you could animate a sewing machine where the fabric is going through and you animate how the needle is going in and out. The key point is that it is an activity that you have seen a million times and that you can easily recreate from memory. Even super mundane activities like hoovering or washing machines shaking, filling up a glass of water, anything like that can be animated. Animate a person chilling in bed, pressing on a remote controller, trying to find something on Netflix, for example. Just look around you. Maybe your animation project is looking right at you. The beauty of animation is that it recreates life. So take inspiration from life and recreate it as an animation. Now for the bonus. Tip number 1. When inspiration strikes, write down your ideas. I keep a Google Sheet where I keep all of my ideas because I have so many ideas. But sometimes in the moment, I don't have access to my Google Sheets, or I don't want to be opening my Google Sheets. So I often just add it into my Google Tasks and I track them later once I'm back on my PC. Tip number 2. Don't wait too long to create the animation that you envisioned or the idea that came to you. If you're like me, when the inspiration strikes, that is when I'm the most excited and the most motivated to create it. And the longer I wait, the motivation starts to kind of dwindle a little bit. If you're interested in reading more about creative ideas, there's an interesting book that I can recommend. It's called Big Magic: How to Live a Creative Life and Let Go of Your Fear by the author Elizabeth Gilbert. Paraphrasing a little bit on how she talks about ideas, she talks about them as if they're people. She personifies them as if they have emotions and feelings. And I remember her saying something along the lines that ideas also want to be published and they want to be created. And if you don't take the opportunity to actually create them, that they will eventually go away and that they will present themselves to somebody else in the hope that they publish or create them. Tip number 3. Break down your animation based on your animation skills, especially if you are a beginner. There's nothing more demotivating than a project that is just going to make you want to rip the hair out of your head. So do yourself a favor and break it down a little bit into either different scenes or different aspects, or isolating the different motions so that you don't have to do everything at the same time. The beauty about animation is that it's a recreation of life. So just look around you and find your inspiration. I hope that you're feeling inspired and that you have your next animation project in mind. If you are, let me know in the comments what you'll be creating. Have fun animating and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!